Hey guys, and welcome back to Mika Reacting Reviews, where we react and review to things on the internet. Same day, same shirt, different video. And today we are going to be reacting for the first time on this channel, Thomas Sowell. I reacted to him on my other channel, Speak Freely. If you guys would like to see that video, please go subscribe to that channel. But I wanted to introduce him to this channel, and I will most likely, if I'm going to continue to react to Thomas Sowell, of course, but anytime the topic is about race or sex or gender, or any thing political, or what's going on in a global situation, all of that stuff will be going on my other channel, like my Speak Freely channel. So I wanted to find some stuff that he talks about outside of that, so I can put it on in this channel, just because those topics are just not really ad friendly, and I don't want to make this channel too divisive. So yeah, anyway, the title of this video was kind of like the downfall of wokeism. Anyway, we're gonna get right into it, but before you do, if you like this type of videos, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to get notifications when I do upload. All of that really does help with the algorithm, guys. And if you'd like to support the channel further, you can donate. My PayPal and Cash App link is in the description box below, and also in the comment section. Of course it helps, but you don't have to. You can just like, comment, subscribe. And another great way to support this channel is either join my brand new membership program, different levels, different tiers, different perks, or visit my brand new merch shop. Links down below, and links to all the alternative platforms I'm on, my socials, and all the ways to support me and contact me for business is always in the links down below. Other than that, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Alright, here we go.
To a small child, the reason he cannot do many things that he would like to do is that his parents won't let him. Many years later, maturity brings an understanding that there are underlying reasons for doing or not doing many things, and that his parents were essentially conduits for those reasons. The truly dangerous period in life is the time when the child has learned the limits of his parents' control and how to circumvent their control, but has not yet understood or accepted the underlying reasons for doing and not doing things. This adolescent period is one that some people, intellectuals especially, never outgrow. The widespread and fervent use of the word liberation in a wide variety of contexts is one of the signs of the adolescent belief that only arbitrary rules and conventions stand in the way of doing whatever we want to do. According to this vision of the world, the problems of all sorts of individuals and groups, women, minorities, homosexuals, children, are to be solved by liberating them from the restraints of laws, rules, conventions, and standards. They are to be liberated even from the threat of adverse judgments by other individuals. We are all to be non-judgmental. 2 centuries ago, the great British legal scholar William Blackstone pointed out that there are some laws so old that no one remembers why they existed or what purpose they served then or now. But the bad consequences of repealing some of these laws have often made painfully clear what purpose they served. Some of the painful consequences of various liberations that began in the 1960s have included the disintegration of families, skyrocketing crime rates, falling test scores in school, and record-breaking rates of teenage suicide. A long downward trend in teenage pregnancy and venereal diseases sharply reversed during the 1960s, starting a new trend of escalating teenage pregnancy and venereal diseases, climaxed later by the AIDS epidemic. Sometimes bad things happen because of adverse circumstances, poverty or war, for example, but our post-1960s social disasters occurred during a long period of peace and unprecedented prosperity. Murder rates, for example, were much lower during the Great Depression of the 1930s and during World War II than they became after various liberating changes in the 1960s. One of the signs of maturity is the ability to learn from experience. Some of us have learned, and we have halted or reversed some of the adverse trends. For example, the quest for those elusive root causes of crime, so dear to the political left, has been put aside in favor of locking up more criminals, and the crime rate has declined. The left is upset that we have so many people behind bars, and lament how much it is costing to keep them there. They do not even bother to estimate how much it would cost to turn them loose. The left has never understood why property rights are a big deal, except to fat cats who own a lot of property. Through legislation and judicial rulings, property rights have been eroded with rent control laws, expansive concepts of eminent domain, and all sorts of environmental restrictions. Some of the biggest losers have been people of very modest incomes, and some of the biggest winners have been fat cats who are able to use political muscle and activist judges to violate other people's property rights.
Stopping it there. Yeah, like I think I've said it before on this channel. I think a lot of progressive policies sound really good when you yell them at protests and stuff like that, or you put hashtags in your social media, and it feels good to say certain things, but in action and long term, progressive policies usually do more harm than good. I'm not saying all progressive policies, and I don't know, I guess it really depends what you feel is progressive or not. Like gay marriage, I still very much support gay marriage. I don't know if that's considered more just liberal or progressive as a whole, but this sort of idea that if anyone's falling behind, like, you know, someone of color or a woman or someone part of the LGBTQ or someone who's plus size, if their life is somehow falling behind in any way, it has nothing to do with their upbringing or their culture or their mindset or their IQ or their own doing, their own decisions. It's all have to do with oppression. And it kind of harkens back to what you said. It's like, all we need to do is liberate these people. There's something standing in their way, whether it is rules or law or patriarchy or the man, or it's something more obscure like white supremacy or systematic racism or just racism in general. And again, what he said about like some people never grow out of that adolescent mindset. Like a lot of people have called like university students, especially like university students who don't ever actually plan to grow up and get a job. They just plan to be activists for the rest of their lives. Whether they're going into teaching or journalism, they're really just activists in disguise. A lot of them come off as perpetual adolescents because like their arguments is usually emotional, it's never rooted in logic or fact or data. They never really understand the cause and effects of things. Again, they never really understand or grasp the root cause of things and the long-term effects of the policies that they want to have put into place. It's just do it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the whole trans argument with a trans athlete, the swimmer. When you ask a lot of progressives, it's like, oh, just let them do it. Just let them do it, and we'll see what happens in the long run. Let's just let men compete against women, and we'll just see what happens in the future. Instead of like being able to stop themselves and think, use their brains and their logic to understand what this can look like down in the further future, instead of just letting chaos happen and then we'll just see what happens in the end. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's pretty, it sounds good to say. It sounds like I'm a good person if I just say let them do it, instead of going, there was a reason why gendered sports was separated. There was a purpose to it, right? But it sounds better if I just say fuck it and just let anybody do whatever they want to do. And I am more liberal. I'm more of a moderate liberal. I'm a creative. I'm an artist. So I definitely I like counterculture. I like kind of like going outside of society and outside of the norms. But I also understand there's rules in place for a reason. Instead of just saying like, let's fuck that rule and just do whatever we want, like let's stop and understand why that was rule or why those traditions were there in the first place, instead of just burning it all to the ground, instead of just throwing out the baby with the bathwater. And I think that's the same for both sides. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with like conservatism who wants to overcorrect as well. Even when it comes to family or tradition, there's a lot of things that need to be fixed before we just tell women to just go out and have a bunch of babies and marry the first guy who looks at you or get you pregnant, because there's a reason why there's an uptick in child abuse and child neglect. They're not being raised right. They're not being raised in healthy homes. So there needs to be a lot of conversations before we just jump right into that. The women's liberation movement had a purpose. There was some good that came out of that. Let's not just throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? Just like their traditional families has a purpose, there's values, but the progressives just threw out the baby with the bathwater instead of going like, wait, let's stop and really think about this. Okay, I think I've been ranting long enough. So let's continue with Thomas Sowell.
Property rights. Politicians in cities around the country violate property rights regularly by seizing homes in working-class neighborhoods and demolishing whole sectors of the city in order to turn the land over to people who will build shopping malls, gambling casinos, and other things that will pay more taxes than the homeowners are paying. That's why property rights were put in the Constitution in the first place, to keep politicians from doing things like that. But the adolescent intellectuals of our time have promoted the notion that property rights are just arbitrary rules to protect the rich. Many academics and federal judges are sufficiently insulated from reality by tenure that they never have to grow up.
Alright, that was it. Sorry. I guess I could just let it play out. Yeah, the whole property thing. The thing is, it's funny because he's saying that the wokes or the progressives want to get rid of property rights because they think, oh, it's just making people richer, with the rich richer. But by getting rid of property rights, you are still making the rich richer, because most politicians don't give a flying fuck about you or about people. They care about lining their pockets, but they will hide underneath causes. They will hide underneath the goodwill of the people. They'll pass legislation that looks like it's for the people, it looks like it's for equality, but they will hide a bunch of little things in there that's eventually just going to make the rich richer, right? A lot of states have kind of done stuff like this. I think LA is a prime example. LA is a prime example of failed progressive policies. If you want to know what progressive policy would fail, just let Los Angeles do it first and then see it downfall and burn and then go, that didn't work, right? Because if you are a landlord and you rent property in LA, like, you are fucked, because the rules and the policies very much favor the tenant over the landlord. And I'm not saying there shouldn't be balance, but you can literally just basically squat in LA, and it is hard as fuck for a tenant to get rid of you because of all these progressive policies that have been put into place, right? And the whole insulation when it comes to sort of academia, a lot of reasons why these kids in universities are perpetual adolescents, because a lot of them are career students. They stay in school forever, and they're sort of Marxist liberal arts arena of university. And then academics themselves, like even the ones who argue CRT, which is critical race theory, they argue it from an academic standpoint, but because they never have to leave that bubble and actually see it play out in real life, they don't even grasp like the devastation or the toxicity of that ideology, right? Because they don't have to deal with it. It's the same thing when rich people or upper middle class or the 1% can spew and yell out progressive policies all day, every day, like open borders, because they don't have to deal with it. It's not in their reality. It's not in their realm, right? So they can just say it, because I don't gotta fuck and deal with the overcrowded, overpopulated public school systems and the neighborhoods falling apart and not being enough jobs for people, right? I don't have to deal with it, so let me just say it because it makes me look better. It makes me look like a better person, right? Anyway, that's it, guys. Tell me what you think of this video. What I said, what Thomas Sowell said, more. Of course, he's the intellectual here. Let me know in the comment section below if you'd like me to react to more Thomas Sowell. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell to get notifications when I do upload. All of that really does help with the algorithm, guys. If you'd like to support the channel any further, you can donate. My PayPal and Cash App link is in the description box below and also in the comment section. Of course, it helps, but you don't have to. You can just like, comment, and subscribe. Another great way to support this channel is either join my brand new membership program, different levels, different tiers, different perks, or you can visit my brand new merch shop. Links down below. I also have a second travel vlog channel. I travel as a lifestyle or I live abroad. If you'd like to know where I am in the world, you can go to the description box below and also in the comment section. Hit the link, go subscribe to my travel vlog channel, and or follow me on my travel Instagram. My stories is usually what's most up to date. And you guys have an amazing day. Bye.